We are given a question on chemical formula. A question that involves chemical formula. If you can solve this question, you can pause the video, then look at the answer, whether you are correct. Now let's solve this question. Looking at this question, it says the formula of a compound formed in a reaction between a trivalent metal, which is N, and a tetravalent non-metal, which is X. Now before I start, let's understand what we refer to as chemical formula. The very first thing you should know about a chemical formula is that a chemical formula is involved between a metal and a non-metal. Metal and non-metal. That's how a chemical formula is formed. Okay, a quick example. If A is a metal and B is a non-metal, how can we know whether A is a metal? And how can we know whether B is a metal? The way you can know whether A and B are metal or non-metal respectively is by the charges they carry. If my A ends up having a charges of +1 and my B ends up having a charges of -2. Anytime you see an element having a negative charge, we usually refer to them as a non-metal. Anytime you see an element having a positive sign, we usually refer to them as a metal. That's the very first thing you should know. The other thing you should know is that how can we now combine a metal with a non-metal? The way you can combine a metal with a non-metal, since A carries a charges of +1 and B carries a charges of -2, they will actually exchange their charge. Sometimes the charge is called valency. When you see a metal or a non-metal that has one valency, you call it univalent. When it has two valency, you call it divalent. When it has three valency, we call it trivalent. When it has 4 valency, we call it tetravalent, and so forth. So that's how we know whether that's a charge upon an atom. Now let's move on to this case. Coming to our case here, we want to combine a metal, which is A, and a non-metal, which is B. They will only try to exchange their valency and they form a compound. So that means this -2 will become A2 and this -1 will become B1. So what we've just done is written a chemical formula. And that's the same thing we are going to apply to our question. Going back to our question. Okay, coming to our question, we have that the formula of a compound formed in a reaction between a trivalent metal. It means N is having a charge of 3+, and a tetravalent non-metal. It means X is carrying a charge of 4-. So what will they do to this case? In this case, we have that our N carry +3 and our S carry -4. So they have to interchange it. By the interchange, we have that our N will be written as N4 and our X will be written as X3. So this is the chemical formula for the compound. Let's go to our option whether we have such an answer. Coming to our option A is not the right answer, option B does not stand, but option C is the right answer.